The night had surrendered to a heavy snowfall, draping our quaint New England town in a flawless white shroud. As I lingered by the frost-kissed window, a steaming mug of tea cradled in my hands, I observed the gentle January light spilling its soft radiance across the streets. The tranquility beyond my window enveloped me, a soothing presence that felt almost reverent, echoing the silence that had woven itself into the fabric of my existence since Paul departed. My ex-husband, Sam, left when my son was just 4, packing his bags and walking away, leaving us to forge a new life together. Though the journey was fraught with challenges, Sam and I persevered. He transformed into my steadfast anchor, the wellspring of my deepest joy. At the age of 21, Sam was beginning to carve out his own identity. A budding photographer, my aspirations often seemed larger than this small town could contain when the sound of footsteps descending the stairs interrupted my reverie. They exuded a calm certainty, mirroring the poise that Sam embodied in recent times. As he entered the kitchen, clad in a cozy knit sweater and jeans, his camera casually draped over his shoulder, his smile radiated warmth, capable of thawing the iciest January dawn. "Good morning, Mom," he said, leaning in to plant a kiss on my cheek. The delicate rasp of his stubble grazed my skin, a subtle reminder of the distance he had traveled in his growth. "Good morning, my dear," I responded. "Where are you headed at such an early hour?" "The lake," he proclaimed, his voice brimming with fervor. "The light is exquisite following the recent snowfall, and I feel compelled to capture it before it shifts." I nodded, a sense of pride blossoming within me. Sam possessed a keen appreciation for beauty, often observing nuances that escaped the notice of others. It was the reason his photographs appeared to weave narratives instead of merely freezing moments in time. "Would you care for some companionship?" I inquired, astonishing even my own self. Typically, I allowed him to immerse himself in his artistic endeavors. Yet today, an inexplicable urge drew me to participate alongside him. His eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "Is that so? Would you accompany me?" "Certainly," I replied with a grin. "It feels like an eternity since I last beheld the lake in its winter splendor." Wrapped in layers to fend off the chill, we ventured forth, the frigid air biting at our cheeks as we made our way through the snow-laden streets. The lake lay within a short distance, yet the journey there unfolded with a sense of contemplation, bordering on the meditative. Upon arriving at the shore, the view took my breath away. The lake reflected the soft hues of the pale sky, while the stark silhouettes of bare trees framed its borders. Frost clung to the branches, shimmering like precious gems in the embrace of the morning sunlight. Sam swiftly set to work, fine-tuning his camera and positioning himself to capture the ideal image. I observed him, entranced by the intensity in his gaze and the manner in which his hands danced with both accuracy and fervor. In those fleeting instances, I caught glimpses of Paul, not the man who had departed from our lives, but the dreamer I had once cherished. "Mother?" Sam's voice drew me back into the moment. He observed me with a subtle smile, his head inclined just so. "Are you all right?" As I brushed the snow from my coat, a thought crossed my mind. "Your work evokes memories of your father." To my astonishment, Sam responded without any negativity at the mention of Paul, though he seldom mentioned him. Today, a gentle warmth graced his features. "Do you long for his presence?" he inquired. After a moment of uncertainty, I finally nodded. "Occasionally, though perhaps not as you would expect. I long for the vision of what we might have become, the family we were destined to be. Yet, I hold no regrets about the way events unfolded. It afforded me additional moments in your presence." Sam's eyes locked onto mine, and in that fleeting instant, the need for words vanished. He moved nearer, abandoning his camera, and enveloped me in a tender embrace. As the fabric of our coats enveloped us, his warmth penetrated my being, and in that moment, I experienced a profound sense of safety that had eluded me for far too long. He spoke softly, a hint of relief in his voice. "I'm glad it's just been us. I would not alter it for the world." Emotion welled up within me, yet I swiftly brushed it aside. "Nor would I," I murmured, We lingered by the lake as the sun ascended, gently warming the snow and dissolving the frost. Sam encapsulated it all. The glimmer of sunlight dancing upon the ice, the soft undulation of water at the meeting point of ice and shore, and the delicate imprints of a fox tracing its path through the trees. As I observed him in his element, a deep realization washed over me. Sam had transcended the role of merely being my son. He had reached adulthood, forging his own way forward. Yet, regardless of the destinations his dreams led him to, I was certain that the connection we held would endure forever. As we strolled home, I cast a sidelong glance at him, a smile playing at the corners of my mouth. "Is that you, Sam?" "Indeed," he responded. "Make me a promise. Everything. Always keep your eyes open to the wonders that surround you. We require an abundance of that." He smiled, his breath creating delicate wisps in the chilly atmosphere. "I shall not, Mother. I assure you." As we strolled together through the falling snow, an unfamiliar sensation washed over me, a warmth blossoming within me, as if the winter morning had softly surrendered to the embrace of spring. "Are you aware?" Sam started, casting a playful glance in my direction, a mischievous smile dancing on his lips. "I believe I've uncovered the reason my photos have been lacking that distinctive flair recently," Sam declared, his voice contemplative. With a curious tilt of my head, I found myself captivated by his unexpected declaration. He halted abruptly, lifted the camera, and pointed it directly at me. "The subject that has always captivated me has been right before my eyes all this time." He pressed on, a grin spreading across his face. I chuckled, sweeping away the snow that clung to my coat. "Are you referring to me?" "Not at all. I wouldn't say I'm particularly photogenic, Sam." He took his time to respond. Before I could voice my objection, he captured a photograph. "That is where you are mistaken, Mother," he finally declared. "Your beauty is truly captivating. It transcends the mere appearance of a model. It revolves around seizing the very spirit of an individual. What about you? You are truly remarkable." His words caused a warm rush to my cheeks, though the chill in the air had nothing to do with it. "Your command of language is truly remarkable, isn't it?" I responded, attempting to maintain an air of casual indifference. He gave a playful wink. "It was a facet of allure," he playfully remarked. The playful exchange continued unabated. As we strolled back home, he kept capturing moments, eliciting laughter and smiles from me with his playful remarks and the private jokes that belonged solely to us. When we finally arrived at the house, my cheeks ached from the relentless joy of smiling. Yet, it was the most exquisite kind of pain. "I can't wait to show you these," he said as we stepped inside, the sound of his boots thudding against the wooden floor echoing in the room. "I believe you will find them delightful. Only if I get to approve the edits first," I teased, unwrapping my scarf and hanging it by the door. He cast me a mischievous look as he ascended the stairs. "Don't be surprised if they exceed your expectations," he remarked as he called back. A soft chuckle escaped my lips, the warmth of our exchange still enveloping me as I occupied myself with tidying up. Sam remained upstairs for the remainder of the day, a familiar pattern whenever he delved deep into his imaginative realm. From his room, the delicate strains of music floated down now and then, mingling with the gentle clicks of his camera. His concentration was unmistakably devoted to whatever task lay before him. As dawn broke, the enticing scent of freshly brewed coffee gently roused me from my slumber. With a languid stretch, I hesitated to abandon the warm embrace of my blankets against the biting chill of January's breath. As I pondered the idea of lingering in bed for a few more moments, the door let out a soft creak as it opened. Sam stood there, cradling a tray that bore a steaming mug of coffee, a muffin adorned with a flickering candle, and a delicate vase of flowers. "Happy birthday, Mom," he murmured, his voice brimming with warmth. "Sam," I whispered, my heart swelling with emotion as I sat up, struggling to hold back tears. "There was no need for you to go through all this effort." "Indeed, I did," he responded, setting the tray gently upon my lap. "You are worthy of it." He perched on the edge of the bed, observing me as I extinguished the candle's flame and took a sip of my coffee. It was flawless, precisely as I preferred it. The consideration woven into the gesture imbued the day with a sense of significance, even before it had genuinely begun. The hours slipped away, woven together by hushed interludes and exchanged glances of warmth. As evening descended, the house embraced its familiar tranquility. As I nestled into the couch with a book in hand, I relished the tranquility that enveloped me. Just before the clock struck midnight, I finally caught the sound of Sam's footsteps echoing down the stairs. He entered the living room, cradling a sleek black box, his demeanor calm, yet his eyes shimmered with anticipation. "Mom," he declared, standing before me, "I have one final surprise for your birthday." I placed my book down, a smile spreading across my face as I looked up at him. "Today, Sam, you have accomplished quite a bit already." "What is this?" "Open it and see," he urged, a playful lilt in his voice. With a sense of intrigue, I raised the lid to uncover layers of fragile tissue paper. Inside lay a breathtaking ensemble of black lingerie, accompanied by a satin robe that felt exquisitely soft against my fingertips. I gazed upon it, briefly rendered speechless. "Sam," I started, my voice trembling, "this is truly exquisite." "There's more," he interjected, a smile spreading across his face. "Slip it on and make your way upstairs." "Believe me," I paused, uncertain of how to respond to his plea. The thrill in his voice was utterly contagious. Summoning my resolve, I gave a nod and transported the box to my room. Clad in the robe, with delicate lingerie hidden beneath, I ascended the stairs, a swirl of nerves and anticipation coursing through me. As I gently swung his door open, I found myself momentarily paralyzed by wonder. The chamber was enveloped in a gentle crimson radiance, as the light filtered delicately through the fabric that adorned the lamps. A polished silver pole rose elegantly in the center of the room, encircled by delicate tendrils of smoke wafting from a machine nestled in the corner. A black leather cat mask rested on a nearby table, exuding a sleek and elegant charm. With the camera poised in his grasp, Sam turned to face me. "You look amazing," he said warmly, his voice filled with sincerity. As he extended the mask towards me, he instructed, "Put this on. The photos will be elevated to new heights." Despite my initial reluctance, his comforting smile spurred me on. "It's merely for enjoyment," he said softly. "Your contributions to others have always been significant. I shall take care of this for you." With a deep breath, I donned the mask and ventured into the embrace of the crimson glow. The room pulsed with vibrant music, its rhythm invigorating all who were present. Initially, I experienced a sense of discomfort, yet Sam's kind words and infectious laughter swiftly dispelled my unease. He led me with tenderness, seizing moments that radiated joy and strength. "You're a natural," he remarked, momentarily lowering the camera. "You may not fully grasp the extent of your own brilliance." His sincerity took me by surprise, and as our eyes locked in the crimson glow, I sensed a change in the air. This transcended mere photography or celebrations. It delved into a profound bond. As the night unfurled, I surrendered to him entirely, casting aside my reservations to fully embrace the present. The rhythm of the music throbbed in the atmosphere, intertwining with the crimson glow and the gentle mist of the smoke machine. A wave of exhilaration surged through me, unveiling fragments of my being that had faded into obscurity. Sam halted, his gaze fixed on me, a contemplative look crossing his face. "You're incredible," he remarked, his voice laced with awe. "Where have you been concealing all this confidence?" With a chuckle, I shook my head. "Concealing it? Sam, this isn't quite the Thursday night I typically experience." "You've got talent," Sam said with a grin, "and I believe you're enjoying this more than you're willing to admit." His whimsical remark brought a smile to my face. He wasn't completely mistaken. There was an undeniable freedom in allowing myself to be visible, a sensation that intertwined empowerment with vulnerability. Suddenly, a memory emerged, one I hadn't contemplated in years, buried beneath the weight of obligation and the monotony of daily life. "Do you find this remarkable?" I playfully taunted, arms crossed and a glint of mischief in my eyes. "Have you truly not witnessed anything yet?" Sam arched an eyebrow, a spark of curiosity dancing in his gaze. "Oh, what other secrets do you keep concealed?" Text, I once attended heels classes. I responded, gracefully letting the satin robe slide from my shoulders to unveil the exquisite lingerie underneath. I can still recall a move or two. His eyes grew wide with astonishment as he took a dramatic step back, his camera gesturing in his hands. "Very well, you must demonstrate it to me," I conceded with a feigned gravitas. "However, I implore you, do not let laughter escape your lips." I approached the silver pole, sensing the atmosphere in the room transform into one of eager expectation. Years had slipped by since I last engaged in such an endeavor, yet muscle memory possesses a peculiar charm. As I slipped off my heels, I seized the pole, ascending effortlessly before curving into a fluid spin. The motion flowed effortlessly, a reflection of the innumerable hours dedicated to honing my technique over the years. Sam remained motionless, his camera momentarily set aside as I slipped into a series of movements I hadn't known were still etched in my memory. A fireman twirls, executes a graceful pirouette, and boldly ascends the pole. The gentle crimson glow danced upon the gleaming silver surface as I made my descent, my motions graceful and assured. As I touched down on solid ground, I glanced over to find Sam applauding with fervor, his smile broad and sincere. "Mom, that was incredible," he declared, walking towards me with enthusiasm. "How was I unaware that you could accomplish that?" I shrugged, panting yet filled with a rush of excitement. "It feels like an eternity has passed. I enrolled in classes purely for enjoyment long before your arrival. Who would have thought I still possessed it?" "Well, I must say, I'm truly impressed," he remarked, his voice gentle as a hint of pride danced in his tone. "Wow, you are truly beautiful." The earnestness in his voice took me by surprise. He moved nearer, tilting his head to plant a gentle kiss on my cheek, the warmth of his affection enveloping me for a fleeting moment. "You truly look incredible tonight," he remarked, retreating slightly to allow me some room. "I truly mean it." For a fleeting instant, I found myself utterly speechless. His smile, coupled with the sincere admiration in his voice, imbued the moment with a sense of depth. "Thank you," I whispered as I wrapped the robe more snugly around my shoulders. "Your words hold great significance, Sam." The music transitioned into a gentle melody, and I noticed the profound stillness that enveloped the house. Outside the confines of his room, the world seemed far away, unimportant. In this moment, it was merely the two of us, entwined in a bond that transcended the limitations of language. With a smile, Sam lifted his camera once more. "Do you mind if I take one final shot?" Simply you by the pole, devoid of any embellishments. Though I wavered, the warmth of his encouraging gaze rendered refusal nearly impossible. With a gentle lean against the pole, I allowed the robe to cascade effortlessly over my shoulders, locking eyes with him through the lens. The flash illuminated the scene, freezing a moment in time that I understood would remain etched in my memory forever. "Perfect," he remarked, gently lowering the camera. "You possess an innate talent," I chuckled, shaking my head in disbelief. "Your talent as a photographer truly shines through." He moved nearer, a gentle warmth spreading across his features. "Perhaps," he remarked, "yet I believe you are attributing more to me than I deserve. From the very beginning, you have been nothing short of extraordinary, Mom. I consider myself fortunate to witness it." His words rendered me utterly speechless. Amidst the light-hearted banter, this moment carried a weight of significance, as if we had unearthed a facet of our relationship that had been patiently biding its time to emerge once more. The evening unfolded slowly, the ambience sinking into a soothing stillness. Sam finally tucked his camera away, and we settled in the kitchen for a late-night cup of tea, chuckling about how breathless I had been following my spontaneous performance. It seemed effortless, a seamless connection, as if the night had woven our souls together even tighter. As I settled into bed, a tempest of emotions swirled within my mind. A blend of pride, joy, nostalgia, and an elusive feeling that danced just beyond my grasp. Sam had forever been my universe, the driving force behind my perseverance during life's most challenging times. Yet this evening, he had bestowed upon me something I had not recognized as a necessity, an opportunity to embrace life once more. Tomorrow, existence would resume its usual rhythm. As I surrendered to the embrace of slumber, I held close the vivid recollection of crimson light, joyous laughter, and the indomitable connection shared between a mother and her son. The following morning, an unusual stillness enveloped the house. Sam remained upstairs, and as time slipped by, curiosity gnawed at me about his activities. Typically, at this hour, he would find himself in the kitchen, preparing a fresh pot of coffee or tinkering with his camera. In its place, an uncommon quietude enveloped the scene, an awareness that a change had occurred. My curiosity piqued. I resolved to see how he was faring. As I ascended the stairs, I halted before his door, straining to hear. The delicate whisper of his voice reached my ears, a gentle murmur intertwined with subtle motions. I rapped gently on the door, yet I chose not to linger for an answer. "Is that you, Sam?" I announced my presence as I swung the door open. The sight before me halted my every step. He reclined on his bed, legs extended, camera grasped firmly in his hand. The screen emitted a soft glow, and the images came to me with immediate clarity. Images captured from the evening prior. The images I captured, illuminated by the crimson glow, adorned in a satin robe, enveloped in a gentle mist of smoke. Upon hearing my voice, he pivoted abruptly, hastily attempting to turn off the camera. His face turned a deep shade of crimson, and he sat up suddenly, steering clear of my gaze. "Mother," he faltered, "I must have missed the sound of your knock." As I entered, I gently shut the door, sealing off the world outside. "Sam, it's all right," I murmured softly, attempting to soothe his anxious spirit. "What prompted you to switch it off so swiftly?" He could demonstrate it to me. His fingers clutched the camera firmly as he gazed down at it. "I didn't think you'd want to see them," he admitted, his voice barely rising above a whisper. "They're the staff." I gave a gentle smile as I settled onto the edge of the bed next to him. "Sam, you captured those images. I have faith in your abilities, and I am eager to witness what you have recorded." For a fleeting instant, he paused, his knuckles paling as he clutched the camera with fervent intensity. His face was still flushed, the tips of his ears aglow with a vivid red. Yet after a moment's hesitation, he let out a deep breath and nodded, handing the camera to me with a hint of reluctance. "I didn't mean to make this awkward," he murmured, his eyes glued to the floor. "I simply wished to ensure that I had everything correct." With deliberate care, I grasped the camera, activated it, and began to sift through the collection of images. Every photograph possessed its own unique beauty. He had ensnared me in a glow I scarcely recognized, a blend of gentleness, power, and allure that seemed almost ethereal. Some images captured me in a moment of unrestrained laughter, my head thrown back in pure delight, while others conveyed a more composed and deliberate demeanor. The crimson light enveloped the scene in a gentle radiance, accentuating each nuance with exquisite clarity. "Sam," I murmured, my voice quivering as I gazed at the photographs. "These are truly remarkable." At last, he lifted his gaze, his face revealing a blend of anxiety and anticipation. "Do you truly believe that?" I inclined my head, locking gazes with him. "Your talent is truly remarkable, Sam. Your perspective on the world around you. Your perception of me. I'm at a loss for how to articulate this." A timid smile played at the corners of his mouth, the tightness in his shoulders beginning to dissipate. "I simply wanted you to recognize the remarkable person you are," he murmured gently. "Mom, you've given me so much, and I feel a deep desire to offer something in return." I placed the camera aside and extended my hand toward his, offering a soft squeeze. "Your generosity has been boundless, Sam, far beyond what you might ever comprehend." For a fleeting moment, we lingered in silence, the weight of unvoiced emotions enveloping us, both heavy and soothing. His cheeks still flushed beneath my gaze, yet there lingered a vulnerability in his expression, a poignant reminder of the depth of his growth. I teased lightly, noting the blush that crept across your cheeks, hoping to dissolve the tension that hung in the air. He let out a quiet laugh, his fingers gliding through his hair. He confessed with a sheepish grin, "I just didn't expect you to walk in while I was looking at them." "There's no need for embarrassment," I remarked, returning the camera to him. "What you have crafted is truly magnificent, and my pride in you knows no bounds." As he grasped the camera, his fingers lightly grazed against mine, and he cradled it near his heart. "Thank you, Mom," he murmured, his voice soft yet brimming with feeling. "That truly holds significant value." I leaned in, planting a gentle kiss on his cheek, mirroring the tender gesture he had bestowed upon me the previous night. His skin radiated warmth, and his eyes glimmered with appreciation as he offered a smile. I have to say, Sam, your talent is truly remarkable," I remarked as I rose to my feet. "Never allow anyone to sway your beliefs." As I stepped out of his room, I softly shut the door, ensuring it clicked quietly into place. A surge of pride and warmth enveloped me as I contemplated the moment. Sam transcended the role of mere son. He was an extraordinary young man, brimming with talent, kindness, and spirit. The occurrences of the previous night, though unusual, forged a bond between us that I had never envisioned could exist. Upon returning to my own room, a smile effortlessly blossomed on my face. The photographs, the laughter, the moments of shared vulnerability, all of it created a sense of constructing something uniquely ours, something genuine, unrefined, and profoundly beautiful.